Okay, so this is going to be a video showing how to trim a bird's nails. Now, I have a sparrow here. I'll show her in a minute. Sparrows are songbirds. They're in the family called passerines or passeriformes, which is actually Latin for sparrow-shaped. And that's the group that all little birds like this, finches, canaries, sparrows, of course, they're all in that group. And passerines, they're also known as perching birds. They need long claws more than most other birds, and especially more than, say, a dog or a cat. So a lot of people will look at a bird's nails and think that they're overgrown when they're actually not. Now to start, hi baby girl. This girl is somewhat tame actually normally, but pretty much no little birds like to be held like this. They don't like the restraint. I'm going to give her a drop of melatonin. It's a very gentle, it just makes them a little sleepy. It won't hurt them. I always make sure you get the weakest strength. This is 1 milligram strength, like 1 milligram per something, but that's how it's measured, is by milligrams per serving or something. Don't get one of the strong ones, like 10 milligrams. That'd be way too strong. That could hurt them because it makes their body temperature go down a little bit when they're given a super dose. So just use the weakest one. Hopefully my birds in the background won't be too noisy. So this is melatonin again, and I'm just going to give her 1 drop. So in a few minutes she'll kind of calm down. Hi, baby girl. And then I'm going to show you how I restrain her. Hi, honey. Yeah, come here. It's okay, honey. Yeah, hi. Shh, it's okay. Shh, it's okay. Hi. Hey, there she is, huh? Yeah, I'm going to trim your beaky too, huh? Here, do this. Sorry, it doesn't taste good, does it? Yeah. Did you get some? A little bit. There you go. Good girl. Oh, look at that cute girl, huh? Look at her. I'll give her a little juice so she doesn't have bad taste in her mouth. I've inadvertently tasted pretty much all bird medicines. Not on purpose, never on purpose, but it's easy to do sometimes when you mix it in a water bottle container. And like all the bird medicines taste really horrible. So I try to give them juice. Sorry. Okay, so that'll take a few minutes to start working, and then she'll be calm a little bit more. The melatonin is not necessary, but it can help if a bird is going to be restrained in some way. It can help them relax a little, and you're so cute. Birds can die of a heart attack from just being stressed or being scared. It happens at veterinary offices sometimes when they're holding a bird down, like for an x-ray or something. The bird they don't know what's going on. They don't know that they're not about to die, and they can die from being scared. So we want to avoid that. Hey, pretty girl, you're so cute. Their digestive system works really fast. Like it takes about 20 minutes for them to work through something they eat all the way to the end and poop it out. So this melatonin we gave her will start kicking in like 5 minutes or something. And it won't make her fall asleep. It'll just calm her down slightly. It's one of the ingredients usually seen in products for relaxing a dog or cat, and birds too sometimes. They'll have melatonin and or chamomile. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a little. I'm going to show you how I restrain her and why I'm cutting her nails when typically they don't usually need their nails being cut. They can kind of trim them themselves. This one, she doesn't have a name, unfortunately. Anyone watching this video can help me come up with a name for the pretty baby. She's young. She's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months old. And I've had her since she was a young baby. She came to me with a leg that had been broken and it healed crooked. So with that, you're so cute. She's not able to really perch on things like normally a bird can. So that makes her nails get grown out, because normally the way their nails are kept short is by perching on tough things like tree branches or rocks that kind of just naturally grinds it down. But if she can't perch because her leg is crooked basically and she has to kind of crawl, then stuff like that kind of handicap, they need help trimming the nails so it doesn't overgrow and grow into their foot pad or something. So I'm using, to restrain her, it's just a t-shirt. Any piece of fabric will do. I prefer like thin material as opposed to something thick. Like you can use a towel, but I much prefer something as thin as possible, like a thin t-shirt, just so you can still feel the bird through the fabric. You can you don't lose track of which way is the head and which way is whatever. So when it's a thin material, it makes it a little easier to do that. Okay, so let's backtrack a little. Hey, baby girl, yeah. So here we are holding her. Okay, shh. Calm down. I hold her the proper way. No. Shh. It looks awkward, but this is actually the best way to hold little birds. Come here, baby. You're okay. Shh. Is with their head in between these fingers, because then it's not so easy for them to slip out when they're wiggling. It's okay, honey. It looks kind of awkward, but this is a lot better than holding them like through this hole of your hand, like through the thumb and forefinger. But she likes to cuddle into my hand because that's what babies like to do, and that's what she did when she was a baby. Some birds are really comforted. It depends on the bird, but I've noticed probably like half of them, regardless of how they were raised, are really comforted by, I call it the hand cup. Just kind of cupping your hand, obviously. This type of bird, the passerines, the songbirds, they, when they're scared or when they feel vulnerable, they like to hide into little crevices and stuff like that. They like to hide and not be seen. They don't want to be seen unless they choose for you to see them. So letting them have a little hiding place in half of your hand is very comforting to them. It can help them relax. Like if I didn't have melatonin, I would just, if I was worried she was getting too stressed out, I would just kind of let her sit here like this for a few minutes, let her calm down a little. The dark can help relax them a bit, makes them feel like they're hidden away. Another thing about holding them is you don't want to grip them too tightly, aside from just obvious reasons. Birds in particular, with the way that their body is built, their rib cage needs to be able to expand. That's how they breathe, like much more than with mammals. They're built differently. If a bird is held too tight, then it can actually suffocate because its ribs can't expand for it to breathe. So don't ever hold a bird too tightly. And so we're going to take this t-shirt. And hi, honey girl. Make sure we're getting lighting on there. There she is. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. And we're going to kind of cover her front half gently. It's okay, honey, with the fabric. And this is going to kind of be her hiding cubby place for a few minutes. It's okay. Still hold them with the fabric over them loosely, like you don't want to suffocate them, obviously. And generally speaking, they're pretty good about not wanting to come out. Like sometimes they'll try to get out, but generally, when you have a bird wrapped like this, they're pretty good about just kind of sitting there because they like to feel like they're in the dark and hidden, even though their butt is sticking out. Okay, so this is her backside, and you can kind of see her handicap. This is her bad leg. It's got, when birds break a bone, at the joint, then it's called callousing. It kind of builds up this extra hard tissue stuff, kind of like a callus, and it makes it so that it's kind of like a cast that their body makes for them, and it helps them not rub it raw when they're crawling around. So that's kind of normal for her type of handicap. And this is the feet. See her nails, she can't perch on anything. Her foot is just kind of stuck like that. So we're gonna just gently trim those in a minute. Her other foot is okay, but it still the nails need to be trimmed because she doesn't perch on things with this good foot, and then the other foot she would fall sideways. So she kind of crawls around. You can see here, that's from her crawling. It's okay, honey girl. Let's cover you up a little more. You can see it's a little raw on the underside. The birds don't like to be held upside down or on their back, so I'm going to not do this much. But you can kind of see where it's been kind of rubbed raw from her crawling around. And that's normal to an extent with her handicap. Some of her feathers will come off from crawling around on the floor or whatever, since she doesn't fly or perch. And just gotta keep an eye on her, especially if it's like a house bird that's on a floor. You want to be very careful that if they're crawling around like this from a handicap, that they don't get a string wrapped around their toes or anything, because that can happen really, really easily when they're on the floor extra much. And it's very easy for them to lose a foot or a toe. She lost a toe before I got her from something being wrapped around her foot. So, to clip their nails, I just use regular human fingernail clippers. I think definitely dog nail clippers are a little too big and kind of overkill, too heavy duty for their tiny little feet nails. You can use a small cat one, I guess. Pretty much the same difference. I just don't happen to have a cat one, and this one works fine. So I'm going to start with her good foot, because that one actually has the longer nails, I think, between the two. It's okay, honey, calm down. We're going to very carefully keep her covered up in the front, just very, very slowly, carefully. It's okay. Shh. There. So, no. There. Okay, and make sure you're not pressing too tight on the fabric. You don't want them to suffocate. If they can, like pretty much any bird, chickens or anything, they love to be able to grasp you with their foot, especially if they're scared, kind of like holding your hand. I don't know. It helps them for whatever reason. It makes them feel a little better. Okay, now let's make sure it's on the camera. You're doing good, baby girl, huh? Yeah, good baby. Good girl, yeah. So, you can kind of, her nails are not super long here. It's her back ones that are like way too long. This is just barely, it's not even that overgrown really. Sometimes if you put a light in the background, I'll see if I can do it for the camera, you can see kind of through the nail and see the flesh part, the part that would bleed if you cut it. See if we can do it for the camera. Because birds quicken their nails extends much longer than that of a cat or a dog. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So, in the foot, see that red vein? You don't want to cut that. And you see how long it extends? Like, you don't want to cut into that red part at all, obviously, because it'll bleed. If it does bleed, not the end of the world, but it'd be a good idea to keep some Styptic powder nearby if you're able. You just dab it on, it'll make bleeding stop. If you don't have that, then you can just use like flour, like for cooking, like for a white powder type of flour, and dab that on, or cornstarch. just something like kind of powdery like that, and that can make them stop bleeding. You don't want them to bleed and bleed and bleed if you cut them wrong, obviously. But doing this, it can help you kind of have a better understanding of where the quick is on the nail, and it can help kind of demonstrate just how much it's okay, honey, how much longer it is on these animals than on like a dog or a cat, or even some other types of birds. They need that extra those long claws to be able to perch, so they can not fall off trees and branches and stuff. Like in windy weather, they need those. It helps them stay attached to the branches, basically. So you're so cute. So yeah, she's calming down a little bit, but I'm gonna still keep her covered up for now. It's okay, honey. Now go back to your feet. I know. It's okay. Here we go. Yeah. It's okay. Give me your other foot. Just very carefully. You do not want to obviously break their leg or anything doing this. Just be real slow. It's okay, honey. Just bend it. Then I kind of like put the towel over it as I'm bending it so she won't bend it back. There. Okay. So, it's mostly the back one that's too long. Like, you see how it's growing long and kind of curvy? That's too long. The others, we'll cut them slightly, but they're not that overgrown. Like, that's pretty standard looking for their type of bird. So it's kind of hard for me to do this in video, but a lot of people will like do this up against the light. They'll trim the nails up against the light, so you'll make sure you're not cutting the wrong part. This is called transillumination, when you use a light to see through something like this. It's very, very handy for little birds. And we're just carefully, a little bit at a time, trimming off the extra nail stuff. Just a little bit at a time. I'm not even going to do that last one. Good girl, huh? Good girl. Yep, so that's fine. Do the back one a little bit more. You're doing good, honey. You can see where she lost her toe from earlier in her life. It's okay, honey. Good girl. I always kind of try to comfort birds when I'm doing anything like this, when I'm holding them down to check them out or whatever, or do something to them. Some scientific papers have shown that birds are believed to react positively to being kind of comforted, like with a calming, soothing, sweet talk voice. Like, you don't have to talk like a girl per se, just they can read into the tone when you're talking really well. They can tell if you're mad or if you're trying to be nice, and it has an effect on them. Like, it can help them calm down. So we're done with that foot. Since she's got her handicap, I also just kind of check, make sure there's not like any little bits of dirt or skin stuck in between her toes, or here where she bends it, just because, it'd be itchy and it'd be gross, and just helping her groom herself in ways that normally they can, but she can't because she's a little special. So now we're going to switch foots. Hi, baby girl, yeah? So, see, she's grabbing onto me with her foot. Hey. Yeah. Might trim your beak, too. Yeah, you're so cute, honey baby. Oh, okay, let's do the other foot, okay? Yeah. Calm down. If you ever start to, like, kind of lose grasp of them, just try to do the hand cup, if nothing else, because they'll usually try to kind of crawl into that. It's okay, honey. Okay. We're going to do the other foot. It's okay, you're doing good, honey. You're doing good. Shh. Okay, this is the foot that's actually quote-unquote messed up. It's okay, kind of bend it in any way that hurts her. Just make sure there's no stuff in between her toes or skin or anything. Looks pretty good. See her toes here, they're kind of like tangling with each other since she can't really move them. Turn on the light. It's a little harder to do with this foot in front of the camera, but see the quick, it doesn't seem like it's as long on these nails for some reason. See if I can make it focus a little better. Yeah, so see this, it seems like it's a lot shorter here than on the other foot. Like the red part doesn't go nearly as long. It might have to do, I know with the beaks, you can kind of like make the equivalent of a quick like recede from trimming or not trimming it. So yeah, it's like that with her toes too. So now we're just going to carefully trim the other. Okay, good girl. Okay. See, this is the foot where I'm worried that her nails would grow like into herself kind of if we don't trim them. And it's additionally a little difficult due to her feet her toes are like kind of scrunched together and I can't really open them up easily. If you're able to, another tool I use a lot is this. It's a cuticle trimmer, like for your toes or on your fingers for people, but it's great for trimming. I use it for trimming their beaks when they need it, and also sometimes for the nails if it's like a weird angle like this. Just be careful with the sharpness, you don't want to hurt them. So, it's okay. If you were not sure, you can just, it's okay. I'm not hurting her, she's just scared, she's getting uncovered a little. Let's cover you back up, honey. And again, it's not, if you can't avoid it at all, try to not put them on their back. They don't like it. It's just a little hard with her foot's angle. Okay, I still need to do one more toe. And if the bird feels like it's freaking out, you can just pause. You don't need to trim it this second. You can just let it calm down. Put it you can go in a dark room, like turning off lights can help them calm down. They kind of go into like don't move mode whenever they're in darkness, and that can help them calm down. Okay, baby. So I want to get that nail. It's just hard to. It shouldn't be quite as hard for this to be done, but I'm trying to angle it with the camera watching it too. Okay, baby girl. Yeah, there you go. I don't want to cut her, so I'm use the normal clippers. Gosh, it's such a difficult angle for that one toe. You're doing good, honey bunch. Yeah, I might have to do it off camera because I'm going to need to position her in a way that the camera would have to move. So I'll do that in a minute. But anyway, I think you get the basic idea. And then we're just going to carefully. Yeah, good baby girl, huh? Good baby. Hi. Hi. Oh. Hi, honey. There she is. What you doing? Yeah. Hi. Normally, again, as long as they have like stuff to perch on, like natural tree branches are ideal if you have like a pet bird. That's how birds in the wild they don't need their nails clipped. And usually pet birds don't need it either unless they have insufficient perching. You're so cute. Perching stuff. So personally, I'll never understand why anyone would pay money to buy perches for their bird at a store when there is no shortage of branches outside anywhere. And branches are much better than the perches that are like a smooth stick. Those aren't very good for them. You want varying thickness branches like in the wild. You're so cute. So yeah, I guess that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I guess I'm not. Any questions, feel free to let me know. Yeah, baby. And I'll probably make one soon on trimming their beaks. Yeah. Because, hers isn't too overgrown, but sometimes that's something else that can happen a lot when having a pet songbird, is the edges of their beak will overgrow. All right, thank you. Talk to you later. Thanks.